Hello everyone, welcome
Hello.
back to another episode of Chai and Goals. Today's episode will be more about reviewing or previewing the Game Week 30, which
Yeah,
is surprisingly on Tuesday and Wednesday, and we have got some big matches there.
yeah. It looks to be an interesting game week. Some very big fixtures, some derbies, and yeah, we'll go through what we think our predictions are going to be.
Yep. And then Amay is not able to make this meeting, but he has already put his predictions in there.
Yeah,
So he is there with us in the sheet,
spirit.
but not in the meeting today.
Yeah.
Yep. I think first game Wolves versus West Ham. Sean, what do you think? Amaya is predicted 1-2.
Uh, Actually, it's a very tricky game. Both teams are not doing as well this season. Uh, I'll go for a draw here. I'll go for a 1-1 draw. And the news was just out by Matthias Cunha today that he'll probably be looking to leave at the end of the season.
Wow, even after signing a new contract?
Yeah. So
Hmm.
he said that he wanted to respect the team and he did not wanted team to be left in the middle of the season without their star players. So that's why he stayed back.
Hmm.
Not his exact words, but basically the gist of what he said. So
Hmm.
that will have some impact on Wolves' morale for sure.
Yep.
But I'm pretty sure they'll get good money for him. There'll be a lot of clubs who will be looking to get his services. He's been a good player for them for the past couple of seasons after moving from Atletico.
Yep.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
they'll get the money and they're looking good to survive it for the next season. But they'll need to get a good replacement for him. I do miss the Wolves team that Nuno Espirito Santo has created though.
True. True. I think they were not a relegation struggler for sure. They were trying to finish
They
top 10.
competed in Europe too, if I'm not wrong.
I think they did, or they came very close, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think competed. But anyways, like a strong team assembled, majority
Yep.
comprising of Portuguese players. But now they look like a shadow of their former selves. And West Ham, not having a great season. Uh, yeah, so let's see. I'm going for a draw. What are your thoughts looking?
I'm actually going for a 2-1 Wolves win.
Okay.
The reason being, again, like Cunha is leaving, but I think he'll give some parting gifts to Wolves.
Hmm.
That's why. And then I think they're number 9. I think it's Larson or someone who's their number 9,
Yeah.
who suddenly come in form. And then yeah, that's the reason. And then because it's at home, right? Home is always a good chance to win. So
Yeah.
that's why
Molineux is
just
a good stadium for them.
correct. Exactly. Molineux has been a good stadium for them. They have been very close to results in Molineux.
Yeah.
So I think West Ham is being average this season. I wouldn't be surprised if
I'm
Kudus.
surprised. Uh, I actually am surprised by Mohamed Kudus. Like last season, he had exploded after his transfer.
Yep.
People were telling United that they got the wrong winger from Ajax. But this season, I read somewhere that he hasn't scored a goal since December or something.
Yeah. Oh, even Bowen, right? Bowen has not been a sensation this
Yeah,
season around. When he was like Bowen, Suchek, these guys have not been the greatest this season. So, and I wouldn't be like I'm quite surprised that Bowen still is there with West Ham despite his quality. And
right.
I think he's 28 right now, so he might not have enough
It will be
time.
like Wilfred Zaha.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm going for a 2-1 win. Let's see what happens, but that's my prediction.
Okay.
Yep.
So next game, Arsenal versus Fulham.
Amai is already predicted a 2-0
Yeah,
win
I guess it
for
will be an easy Arsenal win, probably 3-0.
hmm, especially after Fulham's
Fulham,
demolition by
they
Crystal
were
Palace.
demolished. Fulham are having a good season. Like they are doing well.
Yep.
They're above the big shots like United and Spurs in the table. But I believe no, they were knocked out of FA Cup in spite of defeating United in the previous round on
Yep.
penalties.
Yep.
They were knocked out of FA Cup, and that will have a huge impact on their morale.
Correct. And then they were knocked out of the FA Cup by Crystal Palace and Craven Cottage,
at
3-0,
Craven
which is
Cottage. Yeah,
shocking to be honest.
yeah.
Yeah. And then Arsenal are in form. They are welcoming players back from injury. So I think this might be a pretty straightforward victory. But again, in the Premier League, Fulham have defeated Chelsea away 1-2. They
Yeah.
have drawn with Liverpool 2-all. They've defeated United in FA Cup. And didn't they draw with Arsenal as well? I think so, yes, at Craven Cottage.
But then it's at Emirates and it won't be any easy victory for them. Like
True.
Merino, I did not expect Merino to step up and score goals. He
Yep,
scored a crucial goal against Chelsea in their 1-0 victory.
correct.
And overall, you could see, like, right, like the lack of striker currently is hampering Arsenal's chances. Like
Yep,
they could have easily scored few more goals in that game.
easily. Easily. I think Chelsea's like when they were playing Chelsea, it was quite apparent that they were missing that number 9.
Yeah.
And I think reports are coming in that they are going all in on Gyökeres.
Hmm.
But that's the debate I think they are having Gyökeres versus Isak. So let's see what happens there.
I
But
don't think that will be a cheap. Like I believe the Gyökeres will be a very cheaper buy compared to Isaac. Isaac will be easily 100 million plus.
yeah, Isak would easily be 100 million. I'm pretty sure because of Gyökeres' recent form,
Hmm.
his value has dropped.
Yeah,
But then if you compared pre Amorim leaving, Gyökeres was the hot property in the
hottest
market.
property. Yeah.
Yep. But let's see what happens there.
Okay, a big fixture. Never thought this would be a big fixture, but it's become a big fixture for United.
Yep.
Forest versus United. Okay, Nottingham Forest. It's very
Amayas, yep.
difficult
Amayas
to
put in a
predict.
1-0.
United actually they've had a good March.
Yep.
They progressed in Europa League comfortably. Like even though first leg was a draw against Sociedad, but they were playing very well.
Hmm.
And even in the second leg, you could see like 4-1 against Spanish team for United is a big thing.
Big thing. Yep.
They've always been their bane. So United and Bruno Fernandes recent step up in the form. I see him driving the game for United.
Yep.
And he's been doing that for quite a few seasons, right? Like ever since he joined United, he's been the main talisman. Uh, but Palace they won on penalties, right?
Palace against
Brighton in FA Cup. They were against Brighton.
yes, Brighton versus Forest. They won on
Was it
penalties.
Brighton
Yes.
or Bournemouth?
No, it was Brighton. Bournemouth was against City.
Bournemouth was against City, yeah. So
Yep.
Brighton.
Yep.
So they won against penalties. And even in the previous round against Ipswich, they won they won in
It
penalties
wasn't Ipswich. It was a lower league
in
side.
FA Cup.
Yeah, it
Is
was
it
a lower
Ipswich?
league side.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. I got mine
I
forgot.
think it was Bristol City.
Bristol City. But
Yep.
yeah, so Forest they performed really well.
Yep.
It's going to be a tough match, and I'm going for 2-2 draw.
Hmm.
I'm hoping Hoyland scores. He scored just before the international break.
Yep.
He scored in the international break.
Yep.
And I'm hoping to see him score because United is seriously lacking winger and striker. Like
Yep.
Joshua Zirkzee has been good revelation, and I saw images of Luke Shaw back in training.
That
Mason
just could
Mount
be an
was on
image.
bench. Mason
Hmm.
Mount was on bench before the international break.
Hmm.
So there could be a possibility that if he trained well, he got a good enough rest of 2 weeks in between.
Yep.
So I'm hoping he gets some minutes under his belt because Amorim mentioned that Amorim was highly impressed by Mount before his injury. So I'm guessing he will be playing a big part in the season
Hmm.
to come for United if he stays fit. That's a big if. So let's see, like hoping the players come back before the end of the season to get that final push for Europe
Hmm.
for the Europa League.
I'm actually going to go for a United win, and I'm actually going to go for a 1-2 win here.
Okay.
Reason being Bruno's form.
Hmm.
Forest has played 120 minutes on the weekend. They won 4-5. That is like the primary reason why I'm
Yeah,
going for
they'll
a
be
United win.
tireless for sure.
Yep. Speaking of tired, I'm yawning too. So this might be like I think the Boris game Saints versus Crystal Palace. Saints pretty much sure are going to get relegated. Crystal
Saints
Palace,
haven't won since December or something.
they had come very close to winning.
They played well for a
Yep,
few games, but then their forms against dropped down. Like they are not looking. I'm just hoping that they don't uh, score below 15 points in the league. Because looking at their form, it's been terrible.
correct.
Uh, Tyler Dibling rumored to be 100 million, which I believe is ridiculous. Like
Yep,
he's a good talent, no doubt, but 100 million price tag is ridiculous.
exactly, exactly. Yeah,
But
that's
I don't understand why they hype an English youngster so much. It puts huge pressure, and we've seen examples of that. Like Jack Rodwell was there in the past. Then we've had few more players who were bogged down by the transfer money. Harry Maguire, like
yeah.
he
Harry
struggled
Maguire,
to
Jordan, I
justify his price tag initially.
exactly,
And
exactly.
he was never 80 million player.
Yep.
But then United, so everyone milks United. But then I don't understand why they put so much pressure. I don't understand the greed behind it. Newcastle, Southampton, sorry, they should rather he would get 40 million at least in the current window, in the
Yep.
current transfer window. So they should be happy with that. 100 million is just ridiculous.
I think the main point of like hyping up the English players, right? One, there needs to be a quota within all English clubs that there should be some players homegrown. That is
Right.
one thing. The other thing is because if it's Manchester City, if it's Liverpool, Arsenal, United, they know they have the money. So why not just milk it? So even if they start at 100 million, maybe they get 60, and that's the main thing. But
Okay. So the prediction is 0-2 to Spurs. Sorry, Palace.
Palace, yep.
Yeah.
With the demolition what Palace did of Fulham on the weekend, I'm going for a nil 3 as well. And
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Mateta is gonna score tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm probably putting him in my team, my FPL team.
FPL team. Got it. Bournemouth versus Ipswich Town. Bournemouth actually were
Bournemouth
very,
are
very
actually struggling.
hmm.
So
You
I
could
saw their recent form. They haven't won for quite some time.
hmm.
Uh, but it's switch. So I'll give them a 2-1 win.
So
But
to
if they
Ipswich to Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, two
Okay.
Bournemouth. And they're playing at home.
Yes.
That's the reason I'm going for 2-1 win for Bournemouth.
Hmm.
But they have struggled since Feb.
Yep. Yep.
Mid-Feb. The
They
results
they
are
were leading against City, but then they threw it off, and then Haaland did miss a penalty in that game as well.
yeah.
So
He missed against Kepa.
yeah, he messed it up against Kepa. Yes, that's true. That's true.
So the only reason I'm giving a win to Bournemouth is because it's Switch and they're playing home.
Hmm. True. True. Yeah. Even I'm thinking the same. Two. I'm actually gonna go for a 2-0. And I think one of the players which I am looking forward to is Clivert. Bournemouth does have like a good team. Clivert, Semenyo.
Um,
These are
yeah,
yeah. These are really good players, and I think Clivert is in a decent amount of form that he
mm,
might just score in this game. Yep. I think one of the juiciest fixtures of this week is Brighton versus Villa,
yeah. So
both in European contention.
and
Villa,
they are actually doing well in Champions League. They comfortably cruised against Club
Bruges.
Brugge.
Yep,
So Villa is in hot form.
they
Uh,
won 3-0 over
they won 3-0. Yeah, over the
3-0.
weekend as
Rashford
well.
scoring two. Yep,
But then it was Preston City, right? So
true,
I
true.
wouldn't dive that much into it. It always would have been an easy fixture.
Yep,
Uh, but Brighton again, after their defeat against Nottingham Forest, 7-0, they haven't lost in Premier League after that,
yep,
and their form has been on an uptick. But there will be tired legs after playing 120 minutes.
true.
Uh, so I'll go for a 1-2 win to Villa.
I'm actually gonna go for a score draw here. Villa, to be honest, don't do good after playing like back-to-back games.
Right.
Without a week or without a rest,
Mm.
even though they are playing consistently with Rashford, Asensio, Ramsey, Watkins, and they get tired, in my opinion. So
Right.
That's why I'm going to go for a 1-all win. The only chance I give Villa is if Rashford again turns up and scores. But yeah, I'm going for a 1-all win just because of Villa. They haven't had that much rest.
Right.
Yep. Coming to the new Carling Cup champions, Newcastle.
Yeah, they they'll be in an amazing uh, they'll have an amazing moment for sure. A trophy after a long, long, long wait.
Yep.
We've been counting Spurs, like we've been trolling Spurs for their trophy route, but it's Newcastle who've had much longer trophy route
Yep.
than Spurs. Uh, so they'll be in euphoria. And Isaac again, always in form. I'll give a two, sorry, 2-1 to or 2-1 to Newcastle.
Hmm. I'm actually going to go for a 3-0 victory here.
Okay. Um,
The amount of what I say momentum Newcastle have right now because of the Carling Cup win, I see them winning quite comfortably here, and they might even knock out both City and Chelsea out of the top four.
there's a strong chance for that.
There is a very again major caveat being Isaac being fit.
Yeah. Or
That's like the major caveat.
if Isaac gets injured, their hopes will be demolished.
Yeah, because they have Callum Wilson as backup,
And
and
he himself is an injury-prone striker, and
correct,
he hasn't played regularly for quite some time.
correct, exactly. Yeah. So if anything happens to Isaac, then there might be a chance that they don't make it to the top four.
Right.
But if they have Isaac and Gordon fit, then yeah, they should win it.
And surprisingly, Newcastle played against Liverpool in the Carling Cup final without Gordon, and still
Yes,
they managed to overcome Liverpool. So that was a very big deal for them.
exactly. Again, their midfield is really good to be honest. Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali, and Joelinton are like heavy pressers.
Surprising thing is Bruno Guimaraes and Joelinton both are Brazilian internationals, and they
Yep,
were transferred by Argentina in the international break. Like you look at Brazil's team, you have Vinicius, you have Rafinha, you have Joelinton, Bruno Guimaraes,
Rodrigo.
Rodrigo. So you have so many strong contenders, but then they are faltering big time, and they're not even second in the uh, South
Conmebol.
America
Yep, so,
CONMEBOL.
yep. Interesting times for sure. I think this might be the most easiest fixture to
I'll
call
stick
off.
to Amir's prediction as well.
4-0.
It
I
is the City's demolition job.
uh,
They
without
won.
Haaland.
They won in the midweek uh, as well.
Hmm.
Sorry, not midweek in the FA Cup fixture.
Yep.
Uh, and even though they were trailing, they came back. And this is probably the only chance for Pep now to get it. This is the
Correct.
only chance for Pep to get a trophy. There have been murmurs that Pep is leaving this at the end of the season. So that will be a huge jolt to City.
True.
Man City, obviously. We have both the cities here. So to Man City. Uh, and David Ornstein reported it. So it's
Yep.
a big news.
Yeah, I feel if Pep leaves, I'm not even sure who they will get as a replacement. Is there like a
They'll probably go for Xabi Alonso. I strongly feel they'll go for Xabi Alonso.
very much possible, very much possible. Again, it might again come back to the same thing. Madrid versus Man City.
Yeah.
Not in the UCL, but again in the manager bidding basically. So it might be interesting. But again, with Man City, the only problem which could come up is because Haaland got injured, and I think he might be out for a while now.
But
So
Marmoush is playing well.
true, Marmoush did score in the weekend,
He scored over the weekend. Yeah.
and James McAtee had a exceptional performance off the bench.
Yes.
So that might be again. But I am going for a 3-0 win here. Like, would be very surprised if Man City drop points
Leicester
here.
has just won once since January. And again, like they are sticking with Ruud van Nistelrooy. The team is going nowhere. There was no money given to him in the January window to do any kind of rebuild.
Yep,
So I feel bad for Leicester. I feel bad for Ruud. But yeah, Premier League is a difficult league. So
true, true. I think this might be the spiciest fixtures of this game week.
Yeah.
Liverpool versus Everton. What do you think,
So
Sushant?
Liverpool last two games, two heartbreaks, plus Trent talks going on with Real
Madrid.
Madrid, like they're progressing strongly.
Yep.
So I do think there will be some kind of impact on Pool's morale.
Yep.
And Everton, since they've appointed David Moyes, I believe they've only dropped points in one game.
I think
Not
Liverpool
by drop points, I mean they lost one game.
lost.
They
Yes.
drew quite a few, but they have that fighting spirit back with them. Moyes has installed a good fighting spirit. They are looking a solid. They're looking like a good defensive unit again.
Yep.
And Calvert-Lewin has started to score as well.
Actually, more
So
than Calvert-Lewin, it's Beto. Beto, who's
Beto was in hot streak in between. Like
yep.
he did that last season as well, and disappeared, and now he's come again, and he'll disappear for sure. I don't think he'll be like a long term scorer.
Correct.
But I'll go for a close to win to Liverpool
2-1.
2-1. Yeah,
Hmm.
because they would want to bounce back. They would want to maintain their gap against Arsenal.
Yep.
This is the only. I know it's the biggest trophy, but for in the winning the league. But then they would want to make sure that they wrap it up soon and not leave it to later.
Correct. Correct. I kind of feel Everton might try to ruin the party, and I kind of
They have
fear.
done fight a
Yes.
couple of times in
Yep.
recent.
Yep. I just fear. I think Liverpool will win this 3-1, but
Hmm.
my main concern is they don't injure one of their main players because Everton are ruthless when it comes to that. They'll try to like,
Especially against Liverpool.
yep,
I'm the reason why I'm going for Liverpool when I was initially thinking of a draw, but Anfield factor gives them the edge.
correct, correct. And
And
especially what happened in the, yep,
Salah, like if he wants to go for Ballon d'Or, that this is his best chance. Like
yep,
making sure that he breaks the records in the goal scoring records and probably even the assist record.
correct, correct.
So
Yeah, let's
because
see.
right now they haven't won any other cup,
Yep,
so that will be against Salah. Though he's had an incredible season, but we have Rafinha who's doing the same. We have Usman Dembele who's picked up form since the start of the year.
even Mbappe, right?
Even Mbappe, yeah.
Yep,
So and those three are still in Europe.
correct, correct. And the other thing which might actually hurt Liverpool is both Trent and Bradley are out. So Kwanzaa again might play in right back, and he wasn't the best against Newcastle when he played there.
Right.
So they might again try to target that side
Is
of the
Trent
defense.
expected to make a comeback before the end of the season, like his farewell game?
I think he's very he might just be touch and go,
Okay.
but I I
I
kind of don't
hope
think so.
that Liverpool fans get to see one last match of him. Like him going off injured shouldn't be the last memory. Like
True,
I criticize him for his defensive abilities, but offensively he's very good. No
true,
doubt.
true. But
Uh,
again,
he has
my
been like a childhood Liverpool, like he's been there from his youth.
yeah,
And he's performed excellently for the club. Like his defense, though he was a liability sometimes in defense, but he always contributed to the team. Like he always provided assists. He's very good with passing. He's going very good going ahead. And him and Salah, they formed a lethal pair on the right side for Liverpool.
correct.
I do hope for Liverpool fans they get to see him play before the end of the season. It looks very likely that he'll leave. So yeah,
True. Again, it comes back to the same thing, right? Like if you look at Matthias Cunha, even if he's leaving, he'll make sure that Wolves get like 40, 50, 60 million off him.
yeah.
Even Grealish signed a contract, gave Villa like 100 million. That's what kind of pisses me off. Again, I understand that Trent needs to go to like Madrid,
Yeah.
but again, leaving for free is just a disgrace in my opinion.
That's true. He could have easily fetched 100 million.
Again, not even if not 100, like maybe 50, 60 million for a homegrown
But
player is
you
pure
look at
profit.
someone like PSG. I know Hakimi is in the Hakimi is doing really well for them,
Yep.
but they are one of the clubs that could have offered him money.
Again,
So
he wants to go to Madrid, right? And then I think Madrid after Eden Hazard don't want to take a risk on a player and they just go to
they've been signing players for free, like all the star players for free.
Exactly. Exactly. And that kind of hurts, right? Because they kind
True.
of go to players' agents and then they say that, hey, we are interested in your player and just run down his contract and we'll be able to sign him for free. I think Mbappe got like a 150 million raise or like a joining bonus. So
Joining, yeah.
that's how they are like compensating players, but it's just again, I just feel bad on Trent saying that, hey, you could have just repaid Liverpool fans by getting 50, 60 million for him.
No doubt, no doubt. Like I honestly dislike the tactics that Madrid is using.
Yep.
And it's Perez's smartness, his business acumen, to be honest, that he's getting the big players for free.
Yep.
We know
Exactly.
that there's money going under a table when it comes to this. There's no certain proof, but like it's pretty evident. You can't sign players like Mbappe for free.
I think it's just like they're convincing their agents, right? Saying that, hey, get him to sign with Madrid and then we'll make a
You
very good.
never know. Like they'll say, if you sign Mbappe, we'll give you 10 million.
Yep.
The agent is happy over there. Instead of getting like 2 or 3 million, they're straight away getting say 10 million for such a big player.
Exactly. Exactly. And why wouldn't the agent go and control the player saying that, hey, it's Real Madrid, it's not a
And
small
then
club.
brand name.
Exactly. 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 But
So,
last but not the least, Spurs versus Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. One of the
both,
most heated fixtures again.
yeah,
A lot of red cards, but
I believe uh, Cole Palmer's doubtful for this game.
hmm,
Even Nicholas Jackson.
hmm,
That certainly hurts Chelsea's chances.
yep,
So, but again, the game being at Stamford Bridge, I'll go for a probably 2-2 draw, like a man.
hmm. I kind of, I'm not even sure if Spurs have all their players back. Uh, I think they are still struggling with injuries, if I'm not wrong.
They did manage to have few players back, right? Let me check.
I think it was is Van de Ven back?
Mickey Van de Ven. So last time they played with Romero and so Romero is back.
Hmm,
They have Solanke, Matthias Tell, Benin Johnson, then Son's there.
hmm,
So they have attacker. Madison is back.
yeah,
Players, Danso is out injured. Richarlison is injured. Kulusevski is a big miss.
hmm.
And Dragusin, well, he's okay guy.
He's a
So,
long term injury, I think. Yep.
but they have Jetspin. They had Destiny Udogi,
Hmm.
Christian Romero. Then in midfield they had Bissouma, Bentancur, and Archie Gray.
I think with that being said, I'm actually gonna go for a one all considering Palmer and Jackson both are out.
Mm.
I don't see Chelsea scoring off wingers. I think Sancho is just fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, Sancho's like being a yo-yo right now. Like Chelsea don't
Correct.
want him, United don't want him.
And
Uh,
even
I want to
Neto,
look
right?
at all the fans who hyped up Sancho based on his first couple of performances.
Correct. Correct. And even Neto is I think not lived up to the mark in the recent times.
Yeah,
Caicedo and Enzo are okay, but they aren't doing
they
that good of a.
certainly had this season better than the last one.
Yes.
But then again, they're struggling. Chelsea overall as a team, and especially with Cole Palmer going through a goal drought, it was
Yep.
very evident that they were struggling for wins.
Correct. And
If I'm not wrong, Chelsea, let me just give me 1 second while I look
sure,
at Chelsea's few matches. So they've won quite a few matches recently, but then two of them were Europa, not even Europa,
hmm,
Conference League games against Copenhagen,
hmm,
and they've won 1-2 away and then 1-0 at home.
hmm.
Southampton, well, they won 4-0 against Southampton
But
back
again, it's Southampton.
with Southampton, exactly. And then they won 1-0 against Leicester.
Hmm.
Not a convincing performance
Not a
against
convincing performance at all.
obviously
Yep.
Arsenal, where they were very poor.
Exactly. So I don't give Chelsea a chance in terms of again with Jackson missing, with Palmer missing. I don't give them a chance to score more than one, even
Actually,
though
maybe
it's
that's what I'll go for 1-1 as well.
okay. Hang on, let me just put in on 1-1. Yeah, I think Chelsea don't have the firepower right now. They're just
Yeah,
too they're just too out of firepower. That's it.
they were heavily reliant on
Palmer.
Palmer, yeah.
Yep.
And Jackson, like he had initial goal flurry, but then his form dropped. He was
And
back to Jackson of old.
eh, and with Jackson forms dropping, right? I think Palmer also had an impact. Like his form also dropped at the same time.
Yeah,
And I think it's just because when he missed that penalty against Leicester, I think his confidence went down. Sorry,
Pretty late out here, guys. So
pretty late out here. Exactly. It's been a long day.
yeah.
But yeah,
So
excited for the Premier League to come back. Uh,
finally, like after 2 weeks of
after
not seeing the team play,
Yep, and then
really excited. And then this weekend also we have games, right?
yes, this weekend again there are games. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah,
So
we'll be covering that on Thursday.
fixtures might come in thick and fast now.
Yeah, it's
So
end of the season, 9 matches to go.
yep,
So let's see, like, will United and Spurs finish in top 10, or will it be too much of a ask for them? And top four race, like, especially the third and the fourth position,
I
those
think
are
they
deep in it.
I think they should finish in our top four. But
Top 10?
again, top 10. My bad. But I think the main thing being, I think everything is settled except the top four.
Yeah.
Like that has been
To be
this.
honest, like, only the title is settled. I
Yep,
feel the relegation places are settled, but the middle of the table is very, very up for grabs.
very tight.
Like even
Exactly.
all the remaining European spots, bar Arsenal and possibly Nottingham, but they are not too far. A couple of bad games, and then other teams like Chelsea and City can overcome them, and
Correct.
Newcastle's on hot heels as well.
Correct.
But Liverpool, Arsenal, I believe top two are fixed
Yep.
right now, and then uh, United and Tottenham, they wouldn't be able to get into Europe without winning the
Without
Europa League,
Europa. Exactly. Exactly.
because the other teams are doing much better.
Yep.
But then up till Crystal Palace in the league, let's look at league table. Can you put up the league table?
Sure. I'm just gonna pull up live score here. Oh,
We are not getting paid by Live Score to do the promotion. I wish
we
we would,
wish. We
but
wish.
so if you look at the points table, right, you have Newcastle on 40, like City is at on 48,
Yep.
then Newcastle, Brighton, Fulham, Aston Villa, Bournemouth, pretty much just 4 points off that. So
Exactly.
couple of bad games, say City dropped 2 points and the other team do well. They are
Even
well in
Chelsea, right?
position.
Even Chelsea are on just on 49.
So
So
yeah, Chelsea is on 49. So just 5 points separating fourth and the 10th.
yep.
So not that big of a gap.
Correct.
This is
Exactly.
actually an interesting season, except like Liverpool going away with the league. But for the rest of the league, it's been a very exciting season, except for United and Spurs fans.
But you never know with the Europa.
Yeah, so
Never
Europa,
rule
that's
that
the
out.
hope that United and Spurs both have to
Yep.
get into Europe. And considering there would be a fifth spot, possibly a fifth spot for Premier League teams, both the teams are like all these teams up to Bournemouth, they both want to go heavily uh, to get that spot. So let's see, it's going to be a very, very interesting end to the season.
I kind of feel Chelsea drop out and it might be Newcastle and City.
Newcastle and City, even Brighton are doing well, so I'd give them a chance too. And then we have Aston Villa too.
True. But I still feel, I think Newcastle with the midfield, if everyone stays fit,
Hmm.
I think Newcastle will finish and then Man City will just stumble across in the top four.
Right, right. So, but yeah, Newcastle, like if you look at them, they have considered goals. City have considered a lot of goals,
Yep.
40. And in fact, number 10th place Bournemouth, they have considered four lesser goals than City,
Correct.
four fewer goals. So, and Aston Villa is actually on a negative goal difference,
Which is surprising.
which is very surprising,
Exactly.
especially the way they've performed in Europe, like being in top eight, winning the round of 16 match, and now they are come up against PSG. So
Let's
it's
see. Let's see what happens.
yeah. So I hope that like there would be few teams who would be tired, like Aston Villa, like you mentioned, uh, playing in Europe. Then City are out. Chelsea are playing in Europe.
Yep.
We have Aston Villa, we have Arsenal, we have Liverpool.
Yep,
Not Liverpool anymore,
not
sorry.
Liverpool.
But yeah, so three teams out of the top 10 playing in Europe. So they would have some tired legs. Then we have Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup. We have Man City in the FA Cup.
Yep.
Then we have Aston Villa playing there as well. And then Crystal Palace, who are just out of top 10. So they are playing, so they would have matches in between as well. So I believe only, uh, if you look at it, only Newcastle have a clear path now.
And yeah, Newcastle have a clear path. Even Chelsea is playing
And
in
even
Europe, right?
Brighton don't have any
Brighton.
more cup
Yep.
obligations. So those two teams, and Liverpool, but then again, I'm giving them a league already. Like they'll be
Correct.
back.
And if you look at the form table, I think Brighton are top there.
Yeah, followed by Liverpool. So form wise, like United is surprisingly above Arsenal. But
Yes,
then
that's
again,
true.
like they had a good February.
Very
And
true.
in fact, the draw against Arsenal, which is being shown here, United have better chances.
United had better chances. It was just David Raya who just saved them. So
Yeah. And then Aston Villa, couple of wins, one loss, and two draws. So let's see. It's going to be
let's
an
see.
interesting game.
My money is on Newcastle United and
Look at
Man City.
Everton, like they're 11, they've just won one game, but they haven't been defeated in the last.
David Moyes effect.
David Moyes.
It's win David Moyes, David Moyes, David Moyes, David Moyes.
Yeah. Okay. With that, we come to end of predictions for game week 30. We're very excited for the game week, and we'll see you with the results on Thursday.
Yep, where we do another preview for the upcoming games.
We'll probably be
And
dropping two videos. And
yep,
please, guys, let us know your thoughts on how you are liking the new videos that we're putting out about Guess the Player. We would also like if any of you would like to join in on our Guess the Player podcast too. Uh, and you can just message us if you want to be like a quiz master or a participant, and we'll be happy to connect with you.
for sure. And next weekend it's the Manchester Derby. So
Yeah,
looking forward to the video on Thursday where we'll be discussing about it more.
right. Okay, thank you guys for your
Anyways,
time. Please like, share, and subscribe to our videos, and see you again this midweek.
thank you.
Bye.
Good night.